Alright guys, so now we get to talk about the Nolan universe, which is by far my favorite of the films. Not my favorite adaptation overall. I would say the Arkham games are my favorite adaptation, but Nolan did great justice to Batman, and that's what I really like. A director who actually took him seriously and didn't screw anything up major. You know, I mean, he took his own liberties, but I think they were pretty good. So, Batman Begins. I'm not really going to go in depth with these movies, mainly because I don't have any problems with them. With the other films, I could point things out, but with these, not too much, so I won't spend too much time on each one. And I mean, they're all masterpieces in their own right, so it'd kind of be a waste of time. So, Batman Begins, I liked Bruce Wayne, you know, Christian Bale. I liked Alfred, who is, I can't remember the actor's name at the moment. Morgan Freeman's Morgan Freeman, I mean, come on. Liam Neeson, he's pretty cool too, but to me, it's not, I don't have anything against Liam Neeson, I really like him, but he wasn't really Ra's al Ghul, you know what I'm saying? He was Liam Neeson, which, I mean, I guess it's good, but I don't really like what they did with his character that much. I mean, it was alright. It wasn't like horrible, like Joel Schumacher horrible, but I mean, it was just okay. It wasn't like, it's not a gripe, like something I'll be like, ooh, I hate that movie because of that, but it's not like, yay, Ra's al Ghul. See what I mean? So yeah, we have him and Scarecrow. Scarecrow was, again, he was alright. I mean, he was decent, but he wasn't really intimidating, you know? He didn't have the scary costume. He just put a bag over his head. I always thought that was kind of dumb. It wasn't really intimidating in any way, but again, alright. Not a huge letdown, not a huge plus either. It was just okay. Yeah, and Rachel, I actually like Katie Holmes better than the other one that they have, and The Dark Knight, but, you know, I like them both anyway. Yeah, I like her. So overall, the story, I think the story is really great. This is by far the best origin story for Batman, and it's really just enjoyable. And the score for all three of these movies, phenomenal. I really, really love the score. I think it's probably the best Batman score. I mean, you gotta love the old Batman 1989 score, but this one was just, overall it was better. You know, I mean, it doesn't have that classic feel, but it's just so awesome. It just fits Batman. I don't know why. It's just, music's great. And of course, the guy that writes the music's really good. He writes a lot of really good music, so naturally. So yeah, overall, the only things, again, you know, Scarecrow and Ra's weren't that great. The Tumbler, I like the Tumbler. I mean, it's not the coolest looking Batmobile, but it's the most realistic one. Like, you don't want to screw with the Batmobile in this one. And the, what's it called? The camera work, you know, like the fights, they weren't that great because it was shaky cam. Other than that, though, that's probably my only gripes. Overall, it was a pretty good movie. I really like this movie. I can watch it over and over and be like, yeah, and of course it set up the Dark Knight with the Joker card. So, thus begins the connectivity of the whole trilogy. Yay! And then we get into the Dark Knight. Now, everyone loves the Dark Knight, probably their favorite. Again, like I said, Dark Knight Rises might take that place of favorite in my book, but The Dark Knight was certainly really good. I like what they did with Harvey Dent. They actually did him right. I like what they did with the Joker. They really took him to a whole new level. And the movie itself was just like a step up from Batman Begins. It was just really awesome. You know, it was just, I don't know what else to say. It was just really awesome. I like what they did with all the characters. The story was really fluid. It had lots of action and lots of good story and lots of suspense. Overall, it was just a really great film. And then we have The Dark Knight Rises. So you guys already know my thoughts on that. If you don't know, I made a review. You can watch it. So I guess here I'll kind of give my spoilers in a sort of Kai version because, quite frankly, people have talked about this movie to death. So I'm just going to briefly talk about spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie by now, which I'm sure most of you have, then turn it off. Probably won't talk about anything else after this. So, except that this is probably one of my favorite trilogies that Hollywood's produced of all time. And it's the best Batman trilogy, obviously. So yeah, spoiler time. So Catwoman, yeah, I really like Catwoman. She wasn't as good as Harvey Dent, really, but I think that she was pretty good. She just didn't get enough screen time. That's my opinion on her. Bane was really good. He was a really good villain. Some people say he was shortchanged at the end. I guess that's true, but then again, they kind of had to tie it in with the League of Shadows, and I think that was a nice twist. I have mixed feelings, needless to say, on that whole twist thing. The beginning is really the only thing that I have, like, sort of gripes with because it doesn't really flow as well. I mean, you can figure it in like, you know, oh, maybe his cartridge wore out after all those injuries and et cetera, et cetera. I don't know how bones work, so I'm not going to give you a lecture on that. But I'm just using my own logic to figure out, you know, how it all connects. Of course, it wasn't really supposed to be a trilogy, so it makes sense why there's a little bit of problems. If it would have been me, I would have started off with the beginning of The Dark Knight, or, well, the ending of The Dark Knight in the beginning of this movie, show something that happens to him, you know, something like that. And give him a reason as to why, because it feels a little bit weird how he just suddenly quits, you know? I mean, he's depressed, but enough on that. I'll just give that one up. I like what they did with the ending. A lot of people hate what they did with the ending, but, I mean, this is his own kind of adaptation. He wanted to end it, but yet keep the legacy alive. And we don't really know the Blake character, Robin, whatever you want to call him, his backstory. So for all we know, he could be trained in something. We don't know. You know, we really don't. So I think for people that are saying, well, he hasn't trained him, we also don't even know if Bruce Wayne will come back to train him. I doubt he will, but it's possible. I mean, it's such an open-ended ending that we don't really know how it's going to end. But yeah, I did like the ending. I thought that his death was really powerful, and then him coming back in, I was like, oh, yes, thank you. I was about to maybe cry. I don't know. I did kind of feel that ending was really powerful. But yeah, the last half hour was really awesome, really action-packed, really loved it. The Bat wasn't as cool as the Bat Pod. I mean, you can't beat the Bat Pod. The thing is awesome. But the Bat was alright, I guess. And yeah, it didn't have as much Batman. I kind of missed that, but I mean, I understand why it didn't at the same time. And me personally, I think that there needs to be an extended cut of this movie because, quite frankly, it just felt a little rushed. I think that he cut scenes out because if they made it any longer, people wouldn't see it because it'd be too long. I think an extended cut has to exist somewhere. And if not, I guess I'll accept it because it was a really good movie. It really entertained me, really wrapped it up, sort of. And yeah, overall, I love what they did with the movie. So that's all I'm really going to talk about. I'm not going to talk about that anymore. It's been talked to death, you know. People have their own opinions, and that's all great, so long as we don't, you know, try to go crazy on other people's opinions. It's all good. So, yeah, now I guess we'll talk about more Batman things later on. I'll get back to doing other things. So, that's all I have to say today, guys. Thanks for watching the Batman week. I know it was a little delayed. Sorry about that. Not really my fault. I've just been all over the place and I had time to record. So, sorry about that. Anyway, catch you guys later.